Morning puddings. Now I had a lovely message from someone who follows me and wanted to see like a makeup video. I always feel like a little bit self-conscious about stuff like that because I'm not a makeup artist. I just know what works really well for me and my skin. But I'm happy to show you what it is I do, the magic. Just showing off some of the things I use, lots of magnifying mirrors there and one standing up as well. I'm starting today with a little bit of oil-based primer. This one here, it says Pro Base and it's by MUA, Makeup Academy. I can't speak, Academy. So that's what I'm going to just do a quick show of. I didn't use very much of that at all because it is quite oily, but it's nice. It's sort of, I can use that in place of a moisturiser if I've already put my moisturiser on and I don't really want to put too much more. And it's a nice little base to smooth things out. Right, we're going to start my eye makeup. If you look at my eyelids, you can see how translucent my eyelid skin is. I'd like to say that's due to age, but it's been like that forever. I've always been able to see my veins. My skin is really translucent and super pale. So what I'm going to do first is not necessarily just for a primer, but also to put like a base down that's more even coloured. I'm just using a NYX Mineral Foundation stick there to just do a bit of a base. You'll notice I'm using my fingers and I use them a lot. If you're going to be using your fingers, you need this. This is my wipe rag and this is sat on my lap all the time while I'm doing my makeup. Right, let's think about what colours I'm going to have next. I'm going to use some nudes from this lovely P. Louise palette that I dismantled so that it wouldn't be as heavy as it was. I've got tons there, but I'll probably go for like sort of, I don't know, maybe mauvey nudes today. And I'm going to start on my eyelid. I like to have a really light colour on my lids, and that's because I've got quite hooded eyes, so I want that to be a noticeable bright colour to stand out, if you get what I mean. So I've got a little bit of white matte powder on there. So I'm smudging on that white matte eyeshadow into the corner of my eyes and most of the way across my lids. So what I've done is I've put a white-ish shade on there because I'm going to put something over the top of it, something nicer, when I decide what I'm going to do. So my next step is I'm going to do some colour here on that midsection. In that midsection, I'm choosing a sort of dusky mauve colour, just to go right where the brow bone is and give my eyes a bit of shape. And I'm smudging it in with my fingers, as you can see. Alright, I'm hoping you can see that okay. So what I've got is a nice sort of base colour in that middle, a mid-range one. Now it's likely that I'm going to go for a darker one here and then extend it just to the bottom of that curve, and that'll give me an even better ombre. Now I'm just putting a bit of sparkle over the top of that light white that I did last time. It's just going to make it look a little bit more tied in with the colours. Okay, so we've got a bit of a sparkle on the bottom there. Now, pardon me. Next colour is going to be a dark colour and it's going to go in that corner, and I'm looking for something plummy. I've got quite a few nice dark plummy ones up back here, so I'm going to choose one of them. Pop that dark colour right in the corner there and start to smudge it out. Doing the same thing on the other side, smudging in that darker shade just to emphasise the outer edges. Right then, so I've got a little bit of the darker one there and I may go even darker. I'm a builder-upper. So I'm now going to think about my under eye. And my under eye will probably get some that migrates up and over as well. So because I like those shiny, shimmery under eyes, I will give you the tips for how I do that. I'm going to use pink today. Now that sounds crazy but I'm going to be putting colour over the top of it, and I'm going to be using like a plummy burgundy. All right. So I'm going in with this pink here, same brand from the same set, and I'm going underneath and I'm kind of putting down a layer of Pritt Stick because this stays slightly tacky, and then when you put your shimmer on, bless me, pardon me, it sticks better and you get an intense shimmer that lasts a long time. So let's go in. These pencils are quite soft, so they're quite easy to do a quick underline, and it's sort of smudgeable. Just getting a little drink of my brew there and finishing off the other eye. Okay, so you can see I've got like just a really rough under eye there. Now I'm going to pick a good eye pencil, and I have some really nice ones. This one is by Makeup Forever, and oh man, I haven't got my glasses on, so I can't tell you the number, but I will do. I will tag it in the video. And it's like a flat side with a curve, and then it's very thin when you put it on the side, and it's super soft. So on my under eye, it's not going to scratch or anything like that. Now, so I'll show you, got a little bit on there, and in we go. And what we're going to be doing is dabbing it on as if we're putting glitter on. So I'm just pressing in that coppery shimmer on that under eye, and yeah, just making a bit of a sparkly under eye. Now, further to that, what I want to do is give that even a bit more of an ombre or a shape, and I want to use a dark colour. It might be black. I've gone in with a dark aubergine actually, just right at my waterline, but I'm not sure if that's going to be dark enough, to be honest. And I might end up with an even darker colour on there, because I'm not sure if that's defined the way that I really want it to be. So I'm going to break out the black. Same as before, but using black now to get some real definition in there, right in the corner, and making a little wing. I think that's going to work. So what I'm looking for is something that's going to give a bit more definition right at the lash line, but still have like that blended out colour there underneath. So I've got like a copper under eye, and I've got that black, and then I've got some darkness there, which I might add more to later, but I'm going to do the other eye in a minute and then come back to you. Okay, we're cooking with gas. I've got that under eye done, and I'll do all these things. I don't know if you can see them or not, I'll just do them. And I've got like a nice little ombre there from the first mid shade that I put on, and then slightly a bit of the darker stuff that has gone like right in my eye socket. So I'm getting a nice blending out there, if you know what I mean. Yeah, but now I need right by my brow, and this is one of my favourite tricks that I only learned recently, and by recently I mean in the last year or so. What you need is what I used to call the redundant shades, because I used to do this loads. I used to get these sorts of shades, and I used to think, well, they just don't show up on my skin, what's the point of them? Because I was going off swatches like you do. These Gold Dust. All right, so that one there is practically the exact same shade as the palest skin on me, and I'm going to put it, and it's a matte, another key thing. I'm going to put it right at my brow bone. I get plenty on my finger, and then I'm going to do it on this side because it's a bit easier, and I'm going to push it on and really press hard to get a right good payoff, and a bit more, and that can be a bit more blended out. So basically, and I think you can even see the difference between that side and that side already, can't you? Basically, this is giving my brow a really good highlight. So I'll carry on, do the same thing on the other side with that matte stuff to emphasize that brow bone there. So that works really, really well to give you that sort of more puffed out eyebrow, brow bone thing effect. All right, and the next thing that's going to make a difference before I get onto mascara is my brows. Now you can see these old things here. I do actually have quite a lot of brow hair compared to some people my age who plucked them all in the 80s, but it's salt and pepper, and it's a bit hit and miss. This brow seems thicker than this brow. It extends. This one's short. This one goes a little further. Right, but so I'm using this pencil here, which is a khaki brown, and it's by Music Flower, and again it's from Amazon, and it's a telescopic double-ended thing. So first you use the thick end to do your filling in. Let's get that out, right? So you've got a thick end here, and you do your filling in with that. And again, because I put a little bit of that oily stuff on, this goes on a little bit better because it's not completely bone dry on there. It's got a teeny bit of oiliness. So it does seem to make things go on a little bit easier. And all I do with my pencil is, I am actually, some people are trying to colour in the background, but I'm trying to coat the hairs with a little bit of colour. So that's what I'm doing, because I've got very salt and pepper on there. So I'll coat the hairs, and then I've got this weird baldy bit here. So step one done. Okay, and then I'm going to go to this other side, the telescopic. Oh, this is my one that's nearly done. I say I use this a lot, and this is nearly finished, so whether this will come out, I don't know. But basically, I'm just going to extend that brow a little bit there so that it matches the other side. And then I tend to go like on the underside of it just to tidy up that line. And that's it. Oh, and a bit of a brush. A bit of a brush with a spoolie. Right, brush that. Them bits upwards, coming downwards. There. Alright, that's one brow done. I'll do the other in a minute. There we go. That's both of them done. I'll give them a tidy up, and then I'm going to get to mascara. Okay, mascara time. Now this is like quite a stressful time for me, because this is where I usually make the most mistakes. I'm going to use Maybelline Colossal. The main reason, I've got others that go on just as nice, but they don't come off just as nice. And this one I've found dries up the nicest and brushes off easily. Right, so when I don't want mess, this is the one I go to. And start with the lower lashes. I try and go as carefully as possible on them lower lashes. I just want to try and get those inner ones sorted out and separated on this first pass. Yeah. I'm gonna do the other side. Oh no, I tell you what I'll do. I'll do this eye. I'll do upper as well. So when I come to upper, same thing. I always start in the middle. And now in mine, you'll see I've got very, very deep set eyes if I turn sideways. So there's not much gap there between where I've got to get my mascara on. I'm practically stabbing it into the side of my nose, to be honest. But it's doable. Again, going nice and slow, a bit at a time, separating them, pushing upwards and trying to get them to where I want them to be. And I'm not too worried if I make a mess, because I can always brush it off afterwards with a dry spoolie. I don't want to show you too much because I don't want to get big blobs everywhere. Right, I'm going to do the other eye. See you in a minute. Okay, I've done both sides, but I did manage to get a big blob in there. I don't know if you can see that. So what I'm going to try and do is a trick that I found from makeup artist called Donna Delia. And I'll tag her. I'll always tag her for this tip because it's changed my life. Right, you need a dry spoolie. Well, reasonably dry. A spoolie with no mascara on. You go in and just gently brush, and it has actually managed to do that, although it's pulled my lashes out of shape a little bit. So I'm just going to pop them back in, facing the way that I want them to. Fab, I got it. And I actually didn't do too much mess. When I first started doing my makeup in lockdown, after not doing too much for ages, I was getting a lot of mess everywhere, but I'm actually quite good now, because what I do is I just go miles slower. I was trying to go too fast, and now I just go miles slower, especially with mascara. Now then, my eyes are more or less done, but I haven't done anything on the rest of my face. So my next step will be to put a little bit of something on my under eye. All right, back in a minute. Back now. In that little break that I just paused it for a minute, I did squirt my hands with a bit of water and give them a good wipe off on my skank towel. Because on your under eye, obviously you don't want residual eyeshadow going on your under eye. I'm also now going to use just a white cloth, dampen it a bit. You can dampen it on water if you want. I just use spit. I'm a spit babe. I mean, if I was more organised, I'd probably use a little pot of water. Very posh. But I'm not organised. I'm not that person. Right, I'm going to use on my under eye some of this stuff. It is another Amazon one, but I think you can get it other places. It says Moisture Cushion Chafful, Chafful. And I think it is from Japan, a Japanese make. And they don't make loads of colours, they just do a light, medium and dark. I've got the light one, but it's one of those things that does oxidise to look reasonably matched. Okay, it goes on super light, but don't panic. So again, I'm going to be using my fingers, so that's it. Gosh. Right, so I'm just going to be using my fingers, and it's got a... So with this cushion, you just get a little bit on your fingers and you're doing lots of tapping, not smearing, because that really leaves little gaps and it stretches the skin all over the place and it doesn't seem to work. But tapping really does work. I tend to use my fingers more than anything else. And I also try and put a little bit, it makes it nice and light under my eye, a little bit on there and a little bit on a broken vein. That's the cushion done. That's all I ever use it for. Is that under eye. I don't even powder. No. I never use powder. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm saying it terrifies me and I've never had a good look from it, so I personally never use it. Now the rest of my foundation is going to be the Ordinary Serum Foundation. Really love the formula of Ordinary Serum Foundation, and I believe it's being discontinued, so I'm a bit gutted at that. Again, I'm doing that tapping thing only teeny amounts and in that middle zone, in like the T-zone really, and that's all I do. There you go. Now then, get my fringe down. Hey, we're getting there, aren't we, ladies and gems? Ladies and gentlemen. So now it's blushy time, and again I don't use much. I'm going to go with a very, 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 very lightweight one, which I got in Spain. It did come with this doody little brush. I like these flat brushes for blush, so I'm going to put a little bit on, and then I'm going to do the uppy bit. Yeah, so a little bit in there on the cheeks. Yeah, doing the blush face, which on me looks like a little demon, like a little troll doll demon, and then a little bit upwards like that. Yeah. Right, a bit on the other side. Right, that's me blushed up. Now then, I'm going to try and do a little bit of darkening here. I've got this really dark shade, and I mix it with some of my light shade, which I've done on here, and then I just leave it on there and actually just putting my finger on it. It's still a bit tacky from when I made it up yesterday, so I've got this sort of darker than my usual shade, and also I've found that dark one that I had actually it's quite staining on my face anyway, and it takes a lot of getting off, so it's good for just a teeny bit in there of shaping. Just rub that in a little bit, and there you go, that's my contouring. And it's I find that sort of what's the word, contouring, that stuff stays around a little bit longer than the other stuff that I might use, which is a bit of powder. So the other contour that I use occasionally, in that little bit, I don't do much, and I do it at the end, not at the beginning, because I'm an idiot, is I use some of these taupes that I've got from Inglot, just various shades of taupe. So let's brush a bit of that powder on as well. You can use either of these, but I just ended up using both of them. Right, so I've done like what contouring I do, a little tiny bit in there, and that's it. And that's it. Now I do sometimes a little bit of highlighter as well. So let's see what I've got for highlighter. Probably got some nice one in here. They're a bit gold. So let's go with my actual highlighter that's made for the job. That's this one. It's a KVD1 Alchemy. This little Alchemy highlighter palette is brilliant to have, and I've just picked the middle one, which is a lilac-y type highlighter. Right, I think I'm more or less. Oh, I was like, I think I'm done. No, got to do lips, haven't we? Right, hang on while I choose what lip I'm doing. Okay, we're going to go with an Urban Decay one, which is Amulet. It's part of their metallics ones. It's probably ancient, and I should have cobbed it out. I don't do that thing because I haven't got the money to do that. I think it's a privilege to be able to throw your makeup out when it's out of date. So going in with Amulet, which is Urban Decay Metallics, and that's quite a dark shade for me, so I might end up fiddling about with it. Let's see. Actually, now I often rub away that middle bit, because I always feel like I don't have any fillers or anything like that on my lips, and I always feel like if I have a really dark lip, it's going to make my lips look really tiny. But if I rub a bit of the middle away, they'll look a bit more plump. So I'm going to give that a go now. So with my trusty finger, I wiped away the middle. Top and bottom. And now I'm going to put something on that bit that sort of highlights it a little bit. So I'm going to choose, I think, this one here. It's a Lipstick Queen lipstick by Lipstick Queen, and it is called Ice Queen. And it's basically a creamy goldish shimmer. Smudge that on in the middle, and we're away. Look at that. I think it's worked. Can you see now that I've got a slight ombre on that lip? So I've got the darker shade on the outside, I've got the golder shade on the inside. Bada bing, bada boom. And now I think we actually are done. So what I'm going to do, as I always do, is I'm going to do some glamour shots. I'll go to my favourite lighting spot and my favourite place to take photos, and I'll pop them on the end of this if I remember. All right then, of course I will. You know I'll remember. And I hope that this has been useful for people. Like I say, it's just the way I do it. It's not the way you should do it, but it might give you some tips of, oh, I like the way you do that. I like the way you get round that particular issue or that thing that I have a problem with. All right then, I'll catch you later, puddings, and thanks for watching. I know it's gone on. Bye. Okay, I think this look turned out really well. I'm really liking those plummy shades, and I think that I was right to put that black on the under eye, because that's made the eye look much more defined, and it looks more striking, I think, that way. Yes, so I was quite pleased with that. I also like the lip. I think that will look nice, the ombre lip with the gold on the inside. And thanks for watching, puddings, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.